Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Good morning again. How's everybody doing? Good. Good. Welcome. Anybody got a house story this morning? Anything you've done in the last 30 days?
I put one on the market.
You put one on the market? Your own? Is it listed or an investor property?
It's listed.
Okay.
I already got an offer. It's under contract.
Okay. Already, was it a flip home
It's a rental.
rental?
Evicted the tenant, decided to sell it.
Okay. And you sold it as is?
No.
Rather? No?
I did some work on it.
Okay, so let's get rid of that. Okay, did the tenant destroy it?
No, not as much as some of my other properties. But,
Okay,
I had a little work to do. I repainted it, put some new appliances in it, some new hardware.
we now have a new addition to the team here, so we have a mic that we pass around. So if somebody's gonna be talking in the background, please, we'll get you this. We wanna make sure that you're heard. And, sometimes when you're trying to record up here, it doesn't get back, so. Okay, so anybody else have a house they flipped? Anybody wholesale the deal? Anything at all?
Wholesale deal right now, looked at a property last week.
Okay.
Looked at a property last week, it was, interesting one for me, being new, the person in contact is actually a real estate agent that works with investors.
Okay.
And, the house has been not on the market, but working with the owner. And he contacted me from a mailer I did a year ago, so the owner kept my mailer, it's really surprising.
Yep. So that's happened to me 4 years later. Okay, 4 years.
You must have put it on the refrigerator.
Yep. This particular one happened to be one, I had a flyer made, and on the bottom corner of the flyer, it said, if you're not ready to sell, stick this in your yellow pages in the real estate section. Yep. Is that pretty good? Now, I don't know who has yellow pages today. Anybody still use yellow pages?
They arrive,
My flyer was bigger.
but everybody throws them in the trash.
That's right. So, that strategy may or may not work today, but that is what happened to me. This was, several years ago that I got that, call. So 4 years later. Yeah. So, nobody else bought a house, flipped a house, sold a house?
Put it on the market, my aunt's house in Dallas, 1524. 1524 Park. It's a very it's an older neighborhood. There's a lot of new construction and a lot aren't put on the duplex. So very nice place to so you can either tear the house down, deal, or buy it.
So,
Well,
Ryan, did you have something? Okay. So, I did have a wholesale deal on the website. We've all seen that invite. We had a really good turnout on Monday evening for that. And, I sold it. I had the buyer come Monday evening. I sold it on Tuesday morning. So it's $14,100 for a few hours work. Pretty good.
Nice.
And, you know, for those, well, a couple of you were there, but, you know, this buyer said, anytime we buy a house, a brick house under 100,000, that's all they needed to hear. They bought that house. It's supposed to be a 3-2. It's not, it's a 3-1. So, but there is an opportunity for a second bathroom in that house. And, I don't know what they're gonna do with it, but they didn't hesitate. Without a doubt, they took it. So, if you get a chance to buy those kind of houses, think about that. These people, their criteria was under 100,000 brick home, they want it.
Yeah.
Now, there might be a limit there, because a brick home could be in pretty bad shape. I mean, this home needed a total rehab, but it could have been worse. I've been in a whole lot worse. So. Okay, let's go ahead and kick this off. Okay, got a few admin notes. As always. Anybody want to try and set the remote up while we're talking?
It's been on my weekend.
Okay, thank you.
Did they give you batteries?
Okay. We just got a remote, so we're gonna try and get it set up. All right, so without the, what does it need?
Double A's. It's prepared over there. Yeah, batteries and everything.
Get my truck needs a battery. See me afterwards. Okay, getting closer. Sorry for the interruption. So, as always, I want to thank the vendors. We couldn't do these events without the support of all of our vendors in the room, and you'll hear from all down there in a few minutes, so. Please turn off your phones or you get to buy breakfast. But speaking of breakfast, the manager's kind enough to give you all 10% off for your breakfast, so make sure that you tell them, ask them for that discount when you check out. Restrooms are, for those that haven't been here, they're in the far corner from where we're at now.
Okay, there we go.
Deal table and vendors table back in the back, and go back here and get copies of all the vendors info. If you have deals to share, then you can put them back there as well. Oh, we're online. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you can move that on Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah.
You are our hero. All right. Okay, we are back on the TV here in the restaurant, so we're good. Okay, so some of you have had problems with email from the group. You're not receiving it. You may or may not know you're not receiving it, but if you have one of the older style emails, such as a SBC Global, Roadrunner, Southwestern Bell, AT&T.net, if you have one of those, you may not be getting all of our emails. We've had quite a few that get bounced. And I just want, if you have another email, like a Gmail or a Charter, like that, then you might want to switch over. Make sure you let us know that. Or you can just log into your account and change your email address in your group members profile area. Okay. If you're not sure, give us a call in the office and we'll give you a test mail and see if we can't confirm. Is there anybody that feels that they're missing email from you? You get plenty of email? So, our challenge is if we had one event on the calendar per month, it'd be a lot easier to minimize your email, right? But when you see our calendar here in just a minute, there's a lot of stuff on the calendar. So, there's email that go along with each of those events. So it takes a little bit. It's hard to minimize it. And we're trying to do the best we can with it. Just for those that are online, you've obviously done the right thing, but those of you that maybe haven't been on our calls recently, if you must change your Zoom profile to your name so that your Zoom profile name matches your group name, okay? If we don't know, a lot of people create a Zoom account and they just go with some call sign or nickname or something. But if we don't know who you are, you're not getting on the call. Okay, and that's because there's a lot of hackers now in Zoom. I don't know if you've heard about it. But also, we have a members program, and those members pay for certain benefits, and one of those benefits is some of the members own the calls. So, again, your profile, it takes just a second, go in and create your Zoom profile and just change the name to match preferably your real name, but certainly what your name is in your group profile. The managers offer to give you 10% off on your breakfast this morning, so be sure to ask for that 10% up at the checkout. We want to welcome all the new folks. We had a lot of new members last month. So any of those people here today? Any of these folks here today? I don't think so. But we want to welcome those folks when you meet them. Shake their hand, congratulate them for joining us. So we do offer today only until this meeting ends today. You can join the group as a trial offer for $5. $5 if you join by the time this meeting ends today. Okay, and that's good for 30 days. You get full benefits. There's no partial benefits. You get full access to everything. And then the way it's set up is it will auto renew for the annual discounted rate of $150. Okay, annually for $150 in 30 days. So if you want to do it, for those online, any of the guests that are not members, Maria is putting the link in the chat for you to go click on and join. For those of you that are in the room, you can go see Maria. She will email or text you that link. And you can join today before you leave for $5. Okay, this is a unique opportunity. If you want to know what the group is all about, go experience it for 30 days. So take advantage of it. Okay. If you're on Facebook, please go check in, promote the group, help us grow. We're all here to make money, right? Is there anybody in this room don't want to make money? Okay. So the more people that attend these, the more networking, the more deal opportunity, right? So if you have deals, bring them to these meetings. Okay. The more people you meet you should be adding them to your buyers list, right? So keep that in mind. The more people you can get here, promote the group on your social medias, invite them personally, and let's help grow the group. Anybody in here not like deals? So I've been talking about this for a while, but I have thousands and thousands of educational material, thousands of dollars in educational material for sale for pennies on the dollar. I've downsized my office. I need the space. I need to get rid of this stuff. So you can go click the link. This presentation will be uploaded to the website, like I told you earlier. So on today's calendar event down at the very bottom. And for the members, it's in your download area, past events. But you can click the link and learn more about what kind of courses I have. But there's been a lot of it sold, but I have topics on just about everything. There's a quick look at my office. We've been quite busy. I don't know about you, but we seem to have an awful lot of activity all of a sudden. Maria and I have been very, very busy. We've had like 6 or 7 leads come through and deals that we're working on. So Keith mentioned having a realtor bring a lead. I had a realtor bring me 2 leads. That was one of them that he wholesaled last Monday. The other one's gonna be a short sale, and we'll talk about short sales, at another meeting. Okay. Our mission, provide the best real estate investor education, support, and community in North Texas. Okay, we want you to think of this as a family. We want you to, be comfortable in this community. We want you to feel like you can come here for help. And there's a lot of other groups that you're not gonna get that from. And, we've been doing this this group has been around for 15 years now. So, hopefully you'll become a part of that. So come network, learn, and do more deals. And I like to call us the watering hole for North Texas real estate investors. Come plug in, come suck up the education and knowledge and networking and help you grow your business. Here's our vendors, our vendor partners. And these folks are very important to our group and to your businesses, in my opinion. These are vendors that you can trust. These vendors have been around. They're people that you can trust to go do what they say they'll do for you. Okay? And most of them have been with us a long time. So we're gonna start and go around the room this morning. We'll start with Lenny. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Yeah, I'm like Tim, I've been a member here for about, I'd say 7-8 years, maybe a little longer. But,
His hair was brown before when he joined.
hey, it was. It's called a Tim while my hair is color. So I really enjoyed, this group. I've learned a lot. I learned a lot from just coming here to listen to the people. But I am a vendor. I'm a roofing contractor, been a roofing contractor since 1977. That's when I started roofing for Fox and Jacobs Homes. Some of you old timers may remember them. That's where I got my start. Started my own business in 1980. And I tell people, give me a call. Let me come out and check your roof before you buy it. My service is free. I'll come out and look at it. I'll tell you whether your roof's bad, if it's good, or if it'll pass a home inspection, or if it'll pass an insurance inspection. Them are two entirely different inspections. And tell you, hey, you need to drop your bid by $12,000 because you're fixing to have to put a new roof on it before you buy it, because it's gonna need a new roof. Or because if you need a new roof, your potential buyers cannot purchase it because it's not insurable, because it'll hold up to sale, because it's gonna have to have a new roof before they can buy it. And home inspections are a little bit less inspections, but you got a good roof, but you need just a few repairs on it, which we can do that for you. But give me a call. I'm glad to help you. And I will tell you, no, it doesn't need a roof. I've been on a lot of roofs. Tim can tell you that. I'll go check his out and I'll tell him good shape, moderate shape. Yeah, if you're gonna keep it and hold it. Yeah, let's just do a couple repairs and let's kick it on down the road until wait for a hailstorm and we'll get it replaced then. So if it's a good enough, if you're just gonna keep it and hold it, I say let's don't roof it. Let's wait and let the insurance company pay for it. But give me a call, 817-718-3127, or come see me at the break or after the meeting. I'd be glad to talk roof with you. I've been to hell and back, so I can tell you a lot of stories.
He's full of stories, for sure.
Thanks.
Lenny, you said that you give the inspections for free. How much do you charge for the jokes?
Well, I have to pay y'all to listen to it.
Yeah, there you go.
So Lenny did the wholesale deal that we just did Monday. He did drive by on Saturday,
Yeah, I'm actually, I went by Sunday morning.
Sunday.
Gotta tolerate.
Went by there Sunday morning en route to another roof and climbed up there and looked at it. So, you know, he makes it easy to get an estimate on the roof. So give him a call. He's done a lot of roofs for me. Ruth Ann, you're up next.
Is this really on?
It is.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
I didn't hear any difference when Lexington had it, and I didn't hear any difference.
It's not a It's a recording, not a.
It's
no
for
speakers
Zoom.
in here. It's
Oh, okay,
recording.
oh, that's why. See, old people don't know this thing. No, you know, I had a really great thought just while Looney was talking, because I'm always trying to get people pre-qualified, and the insurance has gone up. I mean, like almost double that I have to use to pre-qualify someone. And I'm just thinking, raising the price enough for a new roof would probably come out just as well for the buyer, because I have to estimate a lot more insurance for them to get pre-qualified than I would if there was a new roof. That makes a huge, huge difference on their premium that they get quoted. Okay, I'm Ruth Ann Dunham with Service First Mortgage, and I've been doing this for 31 years. I'm a traditional lender in a lot of ways, but because we have a sister bank, I'm able to offer a lot of really unique products, like bank statement programs, investor cash flow programs where you put 15% down and you don't have to show 1 penny of income, not even what type of job you have. So a lot of creative things. Tim loves it because he can price a house for a first-time buyer and not have to build in closing costs to pay for that first-time buyer. That goes in his pocket for extra profit because I can provide down payment assistance. You know, it's not impoverished people that get these down payment programs, because one person can make $60,000. And if there's 2 people, you know, it's more and more and more. So 3 or 4 kids, you can make a lot of money and still get these programs. Fort Worth, as an example, is 25,000. Arlington is 20. Grand Prairie's 7,500. Dallas is 60 if they need it. So that's a huge thing. And then even if they're one person and they make 100,000, I can get up state money. So state money is 5%, up to 5% of the loan amount, and that covers their 3 or 3.5 down payment, plus pays part of their closing costs, and then the seller can pay the rest. So they can really move in for practically. So Ruth Ann Dunn with Service First Mortgage. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.
Thank you, Ruth Ann. Morning, Andrew.
Hello, my name's Andrew, and I have not been performing real estate services for 31 years. But my family has been. We've been in Texas, specifically Parker County, since 1974. I'm doing real estate and property management, all kinds of things. We were land developers for a period of time as well. And we have just really taken to the property management side of the real estate industry. And the reason that is because it started with just clients who are saying, hey, we're investors, we've got properties, we need help and supervising and managing. And then it's just grown and grown and grown. And now we're over 150 properties that we do that here. Most of those are in Parker County. We've got about a dozen in Tarrant County. We've got some in Hood, and we've got some in Wise. And so we just, we just work with investors and what we call accidental landlords. We've got a lot of people recently who are relocating for work. Work's just sending people all over the place, and they don't know what to do with their home. And that's a lot of the people we work with. They're saying, hey, I've got a home. It may not be a good time to sell it right now. What's the best purpose of our property? Those are the people we help most right now. So Andrew with Brands Company Property Management.
Thanks, sir. You've grown a lot since I met you.
Yeah, it's
Taken out a lot.
a roller coaster.
Cool, cool. Okay, next up, Charles, welcome.
Thank you. Charles Washington with WHI Construction and Remodeling. And we're kind of new to the group. We've been here for just a few weeks. But I've had a chance to meet quite a few of you guys out at some of the properties. We handle all the remodeling, rehab, repair needs that you guys may have. We give free estimates. We go out to the property, we walk the property with you, we answer questions, kind of give small tutorials on what could be done to maybe get the property in a rental mode or maybe a flip mode. Anything that you guys may have or need or want, we're here to help. We're working on a few properties right now. We're actually working on a property for one of the members here in the group. We walked the property that Tim just sold, the wholesale deal, and I think that was a great property. So whoever picked that up, good job on that. So any questions, any needs, please feel free to reach out to us, WHI Construction and Remodeling. I'm Charles.
Charles?
I will say that, Charles bid a job for me and, I had another company bid it and Charles came in at half the price as the other company. So, make sure you give him a call.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Charles is doing a rehab for me. And, he's fixing to do a fence for me. If I can ever get my IRA money that I requested, so I can pay. But, and he's been to 2 property walkthroughs. And you remember his words? He likes to do small tutorials. He loves that stuff.
Oh.
I mean, he loves talking about rehabbing houses. I mean, you can't wear him out. He just keeps on going like the ever ready bunny. I mean, Monday night at that wholesale property walkthrough, it was nonstop.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
He was real good.
Yeah, it was nonstop. So you need to give him a call if you got a property.
Yeah.
Okay, Ryan, you're up next.
Hi, my name is Ryan with Longhorn Investments. We're a hard money lender. We've helped quite a few people in the group. Mark, I see you're on Zoom right now in the process of getting a loan with us. Tim had asked us always to try and bring a little tidbit or a little extra to the group. So, what's the biggest, hardest thing when you're selling a property right now for the buyer? The what? Everything I'm trying to touch on it, the rates. Yeah, that interest rate, the payments. So what has happened over the last 3 months does anybody know how the rates are set? Is it by the Fed? No, it's the 10-year treasury bond. And over the last 3 months, the 10-year treasury bond has gone from just over 4.25% down to 4%. So rates are slowly coming down, which means that it's going to be easier for people to start buying homes. Hopefully it'll spur the economy just a bit. But it's just something to think about, something to know. You want to keep an eye on that 10-year treasury bond. It's super important to know about. But as far as hard money goes, we offer 100% financing. That means we will cover all of your rehab and all of your purchase price as long as it doesn't exceed 75% of the after repair value. Last month I closed, I think it was 13 loans. One of them was new construction. We never fund new construction at 100%. So the remaining 12, 11 of those 12, so it's back-to-back years or months where 11 of the 12 loans I wrote, we funded at 100%. So we do actually fund deals at 100%. We'd love to fund your deal at 100%. I have a bunch of sample term sheets of what 100% loan would look like that I can get to you. On the backside, it has literally a step-by-step about how our loans work and our current rates.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
So Ryan's a great guy too. He's been here for a long time as well. For the new folks in the group, just a reminder, when you go to our vendors page, you can find all the vendors' contact information on the right-hand side. Just click on the vendors button, you'll see them all right there. Okay. The ones that not here, August REI is a third-party servicing company. So if you're doing any kind of owner finance, they will service those notes for you. They'll collect the payments from the buyers. Hopefully they're paying you a check every month as a profit. And then they'll do the end of the year tax statements, and they will also do the notice of default letter if they're in default on their payment. Okay, Bearcat Capital, Robin Jackson, they buy notes. And Robin's very happy to sit down and talk to you about how to structure a note properly so that it's sellable in the future. You can't just write a note on a napkin and expect to be able to sell it. It doesn't work that way. Okay, so there's certain things that note buyers like to see, and she's happy to help you with that. Select Title is where we get our deals closed. We've been working with Martin Garcia there for many, many years. And he just presented here a couple months ago and always brings good stuff. He does a lot of the legal updates for us and stuff. So give them a call if you have a deal to get closed. Law firm of Meyer and Colgrove. That's another new vendor that we have, does real estate law stuff. He can take any kind of questions. He's happy to, give you a free consultation. He's not, doing the closings. Martin's doing the closings, but Milton can answer any other questions. He does trust kind of stuff and entity structure and things like that. So give Milton a call. Texas Bank Mortgage, right across the street. Next month, that's where we're at. Okay. Randy is a great guy. That place, that facility is great. Unfortunately, we've gone from monthly to quarterly there, due to Randy's health issues with his back. So we don't get to go there very often. Okay. But it's a great place. SVN Trinity Advisors, Andrew Bankin. I think we're going to be getting a replacement for him, with SVN Trinity Advisors. They're a commercial brokerage. I heard yesterday Andrew has moved on to law school, so, not sure why you want to do that. Real estate with law, but anyhow. I think that's it. Moving on. Okay. REI store. For those of you that are looking for educational material or real estate investor tools, check out the REI store on the webpage. You'll see all these different things. If you look at our calendar for this month, we're doing a lot of tools, Zoom calls. So if you want to learn about what tool does what, get registered for one of those calls. We're doing connected investors, we're doing deal machine. I think we're doing maybe Propelio, but we've got several software tools on the schedule for this month. Most of them are at lunchtime. We have actually a second connected investors call set up in the evening. So you can see all those on the calendar and you can go get registered for those. Come check them out. Every one of these things has a free trial tool. So if you're not familiar with them, go try the free trial. Don't sign up for them all at once because you won't have time to really test them. Okay. Take one at a time, go try the free trial and see what you think of it. Vendor opportunities. So we're always looking for more trusted vendors. This is just some examples. They need to be real estate related, preferably somebody you've done business with or comes highly recommended. But we're always looking for more trusted vendors. We don't want you to have to go out and Google or go to Craigslist or anything like that. We don't want you to be the next news article on TV that somebody that got ripped off. What happens in spring with all the hailstorms? Every person that thinks they're the roofer comes out of the woodwork and thinks they're a roofer, and they take deposits, down payments and stuff, and then they never seen again, right? So we don't want that to happen to you. Come here, use our trusted vendors, and let's try and grow our list. If you know any of these kinds of people, come see me or have them come see me. The best thing to do is have them come to this meeting first off and see what they think. Get a feel for the meeting and see if they like it. Okay, take 10. Moving on. All right, moving on. Take your seats. Just a reminder here about the $5 offer ends today when we leave, so keep that in mind if you're new. And for the folks online as well, make sure you click on that link and become a member today for only $5 for the next 30 days. What a great deal. No other REIA group around offers that, so. Okay, upcoming events. I just wanted to show you this real quick. Earlier, I mentioned to you about the events calendar. For the month of April, there's a lot of stuff on the calendar. So if you're hungry for knowledge and learn a bit about tools, go get registered for these events. You'll see there on the 8th is the quarterly mastermind call. That's a members only call. Not free guests, not users, but the members only. That's where we're gonna do a little brainstorming, try and help you with your deal. So if you have a deal, you're not quite sure how to make an offer, how to structure an offer, how to write up the contract, then bring it to that call. If you're trying to talk to, if you're back at the early stages, you're trying to talk to a seller, don't know what to say, bring those questions. Try and prepare for it so we can cover as much as we can during that call. On the 10th is our lunch and learn, going to be in Willow Park at the Sunny Street Cafe this month. And we have some really great lunch and learns. So come join us. It's networking. There's no topic. We talk a little bit about wholesale. We do a little bit of Q&A. So come prepared for that with your questions. But we have some really good luncheons. Property Analyzer tool. We have a premium upgrade to our website that includes deal analysis and rehab analysis. That's how I did my rehab analysis on that wholesale deal I just did. I opened the app up and went through the house and said 10 windows, 2 bathrooms, a garage door, 3 exterior doors, so on and so forth. And you can pull together your rehab estimate by the time you leave the house. So that's what that demo on the 15th is all about. And then you see Connected Investors demo on the 16th and the 22nd. So Connected Investors, if you don't know, is all brand new, totally new. It's a deal finding system, kind of like PropStream and Deal Machine. So come check them out and watch those demonstrations. On the 17th is for all of you, members and guests, but it's a chance to get inside the members area and see what's in there. Show you where things are at, show you all the documents that we have, all the past training, because we record every one of these Saturday meetings, barring no technical problems, but we record them all and save them, and you have access to all that stuff going back to 2019. Okay? You have to request the older ones and you'll see it tells you what to do. But 2019, so think about how much knowledge is recorded there for you. So there's a lot there, an awful lot there. And then on the 23rd, we're doing a deal machine demonstration. So, and then at the end of the month on the 27th, the 4th Monday of the month is our ladies meetings. I would encourage you all to come, the ladies, all to come to the that event. Devin is the one that leads that group up. Okay. So new focus groups. We're trying to get this started. So far, we've only got the ladies group. We want to have some smaller groups to be more focused on helping you get started in this business. There's no way, as good as I think I am, not really that good, but as good as I think I am, I can't teach all that stuff in one Saturday a month. Right? I hope you don't think I can. It's just too hard. So I'd like to have some smaller groups, and I'd like to invite every one of you to think about leading up those groups. You don't have to be the expert, but you have to coordinate it. You have to start the conversation, and then you'll find that everybody learns together doing that. But the purpose is to help try and accelerate your knowledge in the business and help you start doing more deals. Okay, so if any of you have any interest in leading up any of these groups, come see me. There's no set time, location, in person, virtual, it can be anything you want it to be. Ladies group, we already talked about that. Okay, why are we here today? Unlock the Secrets of Property Taxes and Foreclosure Sales by Miss Lexington Wright. Has anybody not heard Lexington speak? Anybody? Oh, wow.
I did just a second.
Okay. Why is this meeting? So you're in for real treat. Lexington has spoken at the group
Amazing.
several times in the past
Very knowledgeable.
and,
Yeah.
very knowledgeable. She's a hoot too, so. So give me a second, I'll switch over the slide. You want that? Yep. Well, yes. You know. All right, give me just a second, folks. We're switching over the slides. Okay, can you see the slides online?
Yes, Tim.
Thank you, thank you. Okay. I'm gonna let Miss Lexington take it from here and let you all sit back and enjoy.
Thank you, everyone. I feel real special. It's a packed house today and online, so welcome, everybody. I'm Lexington Wright. I love real estate. If anybody know me, I actually love real estate. I'll tell you the story about how I got into it. I used to want to be a pharmacist, right? When I was like 18, 19, 20 somewhere. And, you know, deoxyribonucleic acids, photosynthesis, and just total nerded out on biology and everything, looking at plankton, lake water under the microscope. So, so we were reading from this guy, my mom and I, and so, you know, I'm a curious, I was 19 years old at the time, I followed him around, he was at the house, you know, fix the refrigerator, and we had some repairs. And so I followed him around, I'm like, oh, you know, how did you get into real estate, you know? His name was Mr. Edwards or something. I said, how did you get into real estate and stuff? And I just kept following him around. He was all up on the refrigerator. I did that. I'm like, I'm starting to just answer the questions. Okay, he's like, this pesky lady, you know, asking me all these questions. So he got from under the refrigerator. He said, you know what, Lexington? He said, real estate is real. He balled up his fist. He said, you can touch it, you can see it. He said, it's not like stocks where you lose the value overnight. He said, you can touch it, it's real. And I don't know what that did that day. That just inspired me. So I ran to TCC. I was going to TCC at the time. And I talked to my counselor. I was like, y'all got anything in real estate, you know? And she was like, yes, we got this 2-year real estate degree. I said, let's change me over to that. So I've been hooked ever since on real estate. So, and he ended up passing away 3 months later. So it was meant for me to get that inspiration from him. So, I want to know anybody in the room who has went to a tax sale or bought tax foreclosed property. Okay, 1, 2, 4, 5. Okay, I would like to hear a couple of stories. I'm gonna start with Mark, and then I'm gonna get one more story. I'm curious. Okay, tell us about your first time, or what have you heard about it too before you went to the tax sale? What were people saying about tax sales?
Okay, so my first job out of college was working for.
Here, let me see your microphone.
Okay. Where's the spotlight? You put a spotlight.
No, we ain't got those. We don't have a spotlight.
Full introduction.
Do do do.
You got showgirls or something?
Oh, okay, that's it. That's all right.
Okay, so out of college, went to work for a mortgage company. They put me in tax sale redemption department. And I had no idea what a tax sale redemption was. Okay, but I learned that what this mortgage company do is they redeem these tax sales so they could maintain their interest in the property. And then I learned other people could do that too. So my first real estate deal happened in 2008. I decided to start going to tax sale auctions. And I told my wife, I'm going to start going to tax sale auctions. She said, whatever. So I go to tax sale auction. First one, I just kind of was a witness to it, just to get a feel for what it did. Second one, I started getting interested in making a bid. Third time I went, I made a bid and I set my limit. Back then you could research Linebarger, Purdue, probably similar to the way you do it today. So I drive around with my camera, I take a picture. That's when we had cameras. You know what a camera is? It's not part of your phone?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Polaroid.
you take a picture of it, you do your analysis the best that you possibly can. Now, you cannot enter the property, but you can look at the property and you can try to do an assessment and you take your best guess on what you think your top dollar bid is going to be for that property. So I got into this bidding match with this one other guy. And the bidding on this property started at about $16,000. So he'd go up 500, I'd go up 500. He'd go up 500, I'd go up 500. I really wish he would stayed home that day, but he didn't. We got to $31,000 and that was my limit. And I said $31,000 and I said, okay, it's your turn. And he didn't say nothing. I said, no, dude, it's you got to say something because if not, I'm going to have to buy this property. Anyway, I ended up buying the property. And you know how you buy a property at a tax sale auction is you run down to your bank, which is 2 blocks down the road. You get a cashier's check. You run back for $31,000 and you get a little piece of paper that said, congratulations, you just bought 521 Holly Street. You don't get keys. You don't get nothing. Well, I thought that was fun. I probably should tell my wife. So we were fixing to go to Disney World and I said, listen, I think we just bought a crack house. It's all boarded up. It's got weeds up here and maybe you ought to come see it. So we had time, I think, to go by and look at it. But here's the thing. I bought this house for $31,000. I still have it today. I've been renting this house since 2009. I now rent it for about $1,600 a month, and this house is now worth about $190,000.
Oh, that's a success story.
So I'm asking Lexi to help plan the rest of my life.
I can do that. I can help you.
And if she's kind enough to plan the rest of my life, then she can get me back into tax sales again because it's been really good. We have several rentals. We do multifamily. I'm into private credit. I'm into private lending, but we're here to talk about tax sales, and that's my tax sales story. There you go.
Thank you so much for sharing that. That was a good story. I don't know if we have time for, or I can start. Okay. Well, can somebody tell me what they heard about their experience real quick and what they heard about tax sales before going for those that bought one? Did y'all hear bad stuff? Because I always heard bad stuff. Like my mentor back when I was 23, she like, oh, you don't know what you buying. She called me Lexus. Lexus, you don't know what you buying. You know, don't do that. You know, oh, that ain't no good idea. You know, so it was always a lot of fear mongering around it, which made me want to do it even more. Like, why are y'all gatekeeping? Like, why y'all don't be scared, you know? So who else did tax foreclosure? You bought one?
I don't know if you like my story.
Okay, tell me your story.
It's a story.
It's a story.
yeah.
So I had
Oh, this is Delia.
sorry, I'll be quick. Delia.
Delia, and then that was Mark who just spoke.
Okay, so I had a seller that had agreed to sell me his property about 3 or 4 times. Never showed up to closing. Sued him, and I had less pendants. I had a lot of judgments on this property. So he ended up letting it go, and it was at the foreclosure steps. So my lawyer said, hey, you got a really good chance to go bid on this house. You need to go down there, place your bid. I said, okay. So it started at $28,000. So I bid $28,000. Nobody else, no one online, you know, the auction, nobody online bid. But there was this lady, she started bidding. Well, first of all, the auctioneer went from 28,000 to 100,000. He didn't even go 30, 40, 50, nothing. I kept saying, I have a less pendants. I have a less pendants. This lady, who is Spanish speaking, just kept bidding. And then another guy started bidding. So anyways, this house went up to 180,000. So I went, oh my God. So I went back, told my lawyer. He says, call me a couple of months later. He said, Delia, I got some good news for you. I said, what? He said, well, you know how the house bid for 180,000? I said, yeah. He said, well, the bank only got 41,000. So since they got paid off, that money goes back to the owner. But guess what? The owner hasn't been showing up to court. So this money is coming to you. So that's my auction story.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so it sounds like you went to a mortgage foreclosure.
Yes.
Okay, that's a good story nonetheless. Okay, so it was it was an auction. Okay, but that was so. Let me just clarify to everyone. There are two different auctions that be going on downtown on the first Tuesday of the month. You got your tax foreclosures put on by the constable or the sheriff and Linebarger and all them people. Then you have deed of trust trustee sales, which is for mortgages. You know, so it's a lot, it's a lot of people running around, but you got to make sure you get to the right sale. So when you're down there. So anyway, I'll teach you about all that. So this is, I want to let y'all know, I'm not an attorney, although sometimes I'll be thinking I'm a bootleg attorney someday, but don't tell nobody because yeah, that's not good. But I'm an attorney on my own stuff. So this is not legal advice. I'm not responsible for you buying a crack house or nothing, and with weeds growing up, and just consult your attorney. Okay, so this is, I'm gonna tell you what we're gonna talk about today, and then at the end, we gonna get up to all your juicy questions, or you can interrupt me, and then we can make it real interactive and stuff. Because this is a wonderful, intimate group. Oh, and let me tell you, I've been with the group. Let me tell you about, okay. When I first started, I forgot. I started coming here in 2014. I was invited by Ruth Ann, okay? I was like 23. Well, I met her when I was 22, 23 years old, somewhere around there, and that was 20 some years ago. Anyway, but I am so glad that was the best invite ever because I absolutely love this group. There was like two that really helped my business. It was one where he had a guy from Rich Dad Poor Dad talk about getting public data from everywhere and how that can help your business. So that catapulted it. And then, of course, Arnie, he had said one thing in there that had changed the way I was buying my tax foreclosures. And then, of course, Martin with all his legal update. I just love, because I be trying to be a bootleg. I mean, for myself, a bootleg attorney. So I love Martin stuff too. So, okay, had to get that out the way. So Ruth Ann is the reason why I'm here. So I always like to bring back whatever knowledge and stuff to the group, and looking to get at the end, get your ideas on another course I want to create for y'all. So anyway, so we're gonna discuss, cover the history of taxation, lien positions a little bit, tax, the different states. Some states are tax lien states and some states are tax deed states. When the foreclosure sales are held in Texas, I'm focusing on Texas today because that's where we at. And then what happens to the properties that are not sold at the sale? That's a good question. I'd be wanting to know that. And then the benefits and risks, how to buy online counties, because now since 2015, they can go online. So you can put in proxy bid. It's just wonderful when I get to that part. And then bonus information and questions. So all this is going to be good stuff. Okay, so why are we taxed? You know, everybody be complaining about taxes, but you know, it's a reason for them, right? And so, you know, they have a certain amount of land, and then you got to tax the land, so that you can bring in city service, police, fire, medical emergencies, water, sewer. Because when we turn on our faucet, we like washing our face and being cute and smelling good, right? So we need to pay our tax, and then we don't want potholes in the road messing up our car, so we gotta pay taxes, right? So I don't mind paying taxes. Um, but I do fight my taxes every year, so I do like to minimize it, but I'll pay them. And then the other lien, taxes is the primary lien position. It takes precedence over, like when she said, oh, okay, they sold the mortgage, but then the taxes, so the mortgage must foreclose first. But if the taxes weren't delinquent, normally if there's a mortgage on the property, the mortgage company will pay the taxes in order for it not to go to tax sale. So that's why I wanted to make a distinction between the two sales. But I have bought a property that had a mortgage still on there, but I'm gonna tell you how they get their money from that, because some mortgage companies say, whatever, let the taxes have it, but they get excess proceeds, and like they give them a call and then they'll pay the mortgage out of the excess proceeds. So which one is Texas? So this is a nice, cute little colored map I found, And then Texas is a tax deed state, tax redemptive deed state, and along with Georgia and Tennessee, which means you get the deed once you buy it. You got the title to the property. However, the former owner has a certain time frame to come back and get the property, but I'm gonna get into that. It's some little stuff involved, which is this. Once you learn how to navigate and the rules and stuff, you figure out how you're gonna invest in it, and that's why all the fear mongering. I was like, why was everybody scared of this? Because it ain't that bad. I love it, And so tax lien states, what I found out, so Florida, I think I bought, because I be trying stuff. I had bought some tax liens in Florida one time, and they paid 18% on my money. I was like, ah. And so whenever they pay their taxes back, you get 18%. Yeah. So anyway, a lot of banks and stuff do that too in our retirement accounts. I found that out too. But anyway, so tax liens, but we're gonna focus, like I said, on Texas, the tax deed state. I like getting the deed to the property with my name on it, so I like tax deeds. Okay, so and I'm just explaining more about the hybrid states and everything. You have to foreclose on a lien and do all kinds of stuff to get the deed. When are tax foreclosures held? Everybody write this down. First Tuesday of the month is general foreclosure day in all of Texas. It's the first Tuesday, like I be telling people, don't be calling me on first Tuesday. I'm not gonna answer my phone. It's on do not disturb. Okay, unless it's like a medical emergency, and I probably send my friend over there to see about you. But anyway, it's the first Tuesday of the month. But I don't answer my phone on first Tuesday. So anyway, but that's when the trustee sales are held and the tax foreclosure. They on opposite ends of the building. So here's the really exciting part, okay? This is exciting. Okay. Texas has 254 counties. Did y'all know that? Okay. Wow, 250. So guess on the first Tuesday, look at all the opportunity you have to buy property all over Texas. But now some of the more rural counties have it once a year or quarterly and stuff, but you can figure out when they have their sale, but 254 counties. So if you got outbid it 1 month, just keep going back. Just keep going. You got Land Candy, 254 county. 254 county. Hershey's, Snickers, Reese's. You can call it whatever, you can name each county after some candy. You know what I'm saying? Mars, you know what I'm saying? Now and later, So
Question, do you
Uh-huh.
run in several counties, not just next to
yes,
you?
uh-huh. it's exciting. I mean, once you start doing it, it's like addicting and stuff, and you're like, oh, what they doing down in Smith County and Tyler, what they doing in Ellis and Waxahachie, it's just a whole wonderful world out here. And so I'm just excited. I love did I tell y'all I love real estate? Okay, I just want to don't forget, I love real estate. And so in Texas, okay, first Tuesday each month. Oh, yeah, that's what I was telling you about the, quarterly, annual, because like Granbury have Hood County, excuse me, that's the city. Okay, Hood County has theirs once a year, and they normally have like 147 uh properties on there. But by the time the sale happened, it'd be like 99, but that's still a lot of property. You're gonna buy something. You're gonna leave there with something, like they say. So what happens to the properties that are not sold at the sale? So this is how I found out more about them. Now, they did in real estate school take us down there back when I was 20, 22, somewhere around there. They took us down to the county and we observed. I didn't know what was going on. I was like, because it was mortgage foreclosures, everything going on. But what I really found out about tax sales is when I worked for the city of Fort Worth. I was in their real estate department. I did eminent domain work. So I was the person that had to negotiate with people when they had to take 10-foot of frontage off of theirs to widen the street, sewer lines. It was a very exciting job. Got to dress up cute every day, smell good. It just was a wonderful job. But I also learned more about tax sales. So when I first started, I was a clerical lady. And so they gave me this list. They say, okay, input all these properties into the system and make a folder. I was like, oh, okay, these are properties that didn't sell at the tax sale. I was like, okay. And then they gave me the result list of what people were buying it for. I said, I'm on the wrong side here. I don't want to be making like 20 bucks an hour. I want to be here buying property. So I just made it my life to, work there 10 years. And then I finally, bought property and got, enough assets to leave. But when I seen that list of what people was buying that property for, I said, I'm on the wrong side and I'm gonna get on the right side. WRIGHT. That's my name. Okay. Okay. Anyway, y'all to get boom, boom. Okay. So, so, if the property does not sell, it was struck off. So I was entering in all the struck off property. That's the property that nobody wanted. Oh my God, but they wasn't that bad, But so we'll have a resale every quarter. And so we would, it would be a sealed bid process and oversee. It's just so many avenues to this thing, It's just getting more and more exciting, because when you think you know something else, it's something else, to more ways to get land candy. And so now there's some municipalities or whatever taxing entity serves as the trustee. Sometimes it's the school district, sometimes it's the county, and sometimes it's the city. It depends on where the property is, but they have one taxing entity usually that resells the property. So that's another opportunity. But everybody done bought them up. Even when I left the city, I was at the resale. They were like, Lexi, do you have? Uh-huh. Like, because I would never go when I was there because I didn't want them in my business, because they would have seen my name. If I was like, I'm taking off today, then go down there and then we get the list. They like, I didn't want them in my business. So I waited till I left and then I started going. So they seen my name on the list. After that, I didn't care. So, so it struck off to the city. So then they have a sale after that. And so this is important. So we're going to sit on this slide. I'm going to explain it. So in Texas, tax foreclosed properties are subject to the redemption period. I'm going to dive more into this redemption period. So non-homestead property is 180 days. So that means commercial buildings, gas stations, land, all that's going to be under the 180 day. So if you buy a corner store, and they did have a corner store off of Evans a few years ago, that went for 77,000. I was like, I sure wish I had, some months you have more money than other months, depending on how your pockets look that month, what's it. So I didn't have enough in my pockets for that corner store. But yeah, you can buy, it's a whole bunch of interesting properties that come up. That's why even if I don't go, I just look at the list because I love real estate and I'm engrossed in it. And I'm just busy researching property all the time. I'm like an analyst, a real estate analyst. Okay, so that's 180 day. Or now, homestead, mineral interest, and agricultural land is 2 years. Now, let me expound on this one. So, even so, at first, I used to when I first started and left the city, I was just flipping, to get my money up. So I would buy lots and start flipping those. After the 6 months, I'm like, hey, every 6 months, I buy a lot every month. Then after the seventh month, I have inventory to sell. So I put it on the MLS. And so if I buy 1 or 2 lots every month, so I was like, I'm gonna keep. So after the first 6 months, I had inventory to sell every month, because that was my strategy then. So when I started buying the houses, it was vacant houses, real beat up. I didn't care if it was leaning, had grass up. I didn't care. I'm if it's a standing or even leaning, I was gonna buy it. And so I was getting houses for like 17,000 and 20,000 back in 2016, 17, honey. The prices it was like 99 properties a month going up. So I would take a lunch and have my folding chair and me and the ladies be cackling and talking and stuff at the tax sale. It was like a whole community of us, like it from 2016, 2018, just buying land every month. It was wonderful. And so I started buying the houses, and so I was selling those every 6 months, and then they started getting stricter at the title companies. They like, well, if it's a house, no matter what, you're gonna have to do 2 years. I was like, what? You're messing up my little flow thing that I had every 6 months. So now you're saying I have to sit on this house for 2 years? I'm like, y'all messing up my stuff, right? So my escrow agent at the time, poor baby, I was like, I fist to prove to you that this was not a homestead. It was nobody's homestead. So I dug up, did the public information last time water was on. I took pictures of the condition. If the city had a substandard notice on it, that's the public information part. I had all it, I brought it to, I said, this have a code compliance violation. It's bordered up. It didn't have no water. Wasn't nobody living here, not even no homeless people. I didn't even have no squatters in here. So she's like, okay, let me send this to the underwriter. Got it sold. But so ever since then, now that I know that it was gonna be 2 years on houses, I had redid my strategy, but it's still good because after 2 years, the house done went up 20, 30,000 in value during that time from 2016 to 2020. Every time I would buy a house and sit on it 2 years, because I'll just mow the grass, cut the trees, border it up, put little locks on it and stuff, and just sit up, because I know it's going up 15,000 a year. So if I bought it for 20,000, 2 years later, I'm selling it for 50. And then I don't have to work but 6 months out of the year. Whatever. Anyway, y'all get the idea.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
I know a guy that buys them like that and fixes them up, and then somehow the buyer comes back. He has to pay him for everything that he did on top of the property, right?
Who has to pay him?
I'm saying the original owner.
Oh, okay.
We do.
Let me see. Do I talk about? Oh, we're gonna talk about that on this slide. Okay, let's. So I like it. Look at you. Okay, you know what we're talking about next. So this is under the risk and benefits. So when the benefits of it is the property tax is the first lien position, so it clears out the title. To me, it resets the title. So if you had a lot of heirship issues, like Big Mama passed and she had like 8 kids, and then 4 of the 8 kids died, and then they had 3 kids apiece. And then like I had one suit that I had bought, it was like 26 people on there. I was like, so yeah, I said that it was best that they took that to the tax sale, because trying to do a quiet title on that would have been whoo. Anyway, so that's another good, it clears up, it's a primary lien position, and it kind of clears things up to the new buyer, and it helps reset it. So under the redemption, here's where we're gonna get to this. So it's 25% the first year and 50% the second year. So if you bought the house for 20,000, wait, hold on, let me use round numbers because okay, yeah, let's use 100. And so you bought it for 100,000. The first year, if they redeem it, the former property owner, and they got to prove up that they had a vested interest in the property, and then they got to pay you 125 back. So what bank, even with the treasury rates, is giving 25% on 100K? If you had 100K for a year in the bank, do y'all know any bank giving 25% interest? So I would gladly buy the house. And then I want y'all, if y'all do decide to get it back, I'm gonna get 25 G's and I don't have to work, but half of the year or whatever, because y'all and working at a job, it'll take you a whole year to make that. So anyway, if they want to get it now, what I do, I don't automatically work on it immediately. Like I said, I'll sit on it, because if they want to come back and get it, you're going to get it close to the state it was in that I bought it, besides the grass being mowed and some trees being cut to keep code compliance off for you. And then the second year, they will have to pay you back 150. So you're gonna win as long as you don't go in and put more than 25,000 into the house the first year, and don't put in more than another 25 the second year. That's my strategy. I'm not gonna spend over what the redemption is. You get what I'm saying?
But Lexi, what the question was.
What was the question?
What if they go in and rehab the house? Let's say they bought it, or
Mhm.
you bought it and then the original owner went in and or you did 20,000 in rehab.
Mm-hmm.
When they come back and want to pay, do they have to give you
They
the
don't.
5,000 too?
No. When they go to the county, they only have to give you what the code say. Now, if you want to try to put a lien or take them to small claims court, you can try, but good luck, you know what I'm saying? Yes.
Aren't you as the new technical owner? Sorry.
You as the new owner, don't you have to, you mentioned keeping the lawn taken care of, all those things. If there is damage to the house, like a roof, don't you have to make those repairs, minimum repairs, or not? Is my question.
Yeah, as I will make the repairs as long as it's under 25 G's. Like if the house was 100,000, I'm not gonna go exceed that.
Okay, and do you carry insurance on that property in case it burns down?
Yes.
So you don't get any of that money back. You just have to keep it within that 25% range.
Because it's like you're getting a reimbursement,
Okay.
and so the county not gonna make them. Now you can give them an itemized list and all that good stuff. And I had a lady that did that, but they don't have to pay. They can't enforce it. And so that's why she would have to take on the small claim. Well, I did this to y'all house, but good luck, hopefully. It just would see if the JP judge would,
And on the title, does that clear like mechanics liens and stuff like that? If those are in place, everything's wiped clean, you start fresh on everything.
Isn't it wonderful?
Okay.
After a certain time frame, it's gonna be wiped clean because the Texas Property Code tell you what those time frames are for title clearing,
Lexi James said IRS doesn't.
Right. After it's in the chapter 34. Wait, which one is about liens? But it tells you when things fall off. And also the title company you work with can tell you and I go by when they insure it, because the tax code say one thing, when the title's going to be cleared from any other, what they call it, claims, liens, or encumbrances. But I go by when are y'all going to insure title for me to get a loan on it, to rent it, a DSCR loan, or when I can sell it. So that's my timeline there. But the Texas Property Code do tell you the Texas Tax Code, excuse me, tell you when everything gonna be cleared out. So I'm not worried about IRS liens. I'm not worried about any liens or mortgages, you know, yeah.
The insurance, if,
Mhm.
you know, when I got a property, I need to have insurance code. If owner, ex-owner gonna be, well, I don't know, let's help now. But if
It's for
ex,
the people, it's for the
oh,
people in
okay.
the back.
Oh, okay. So if ex-owner gonna be come back to redeem the property and I put the insurance in, did I get this insurance back? The fee? Yeah, yeah,
Your
no, I
premium?
mean, it is if this house, like right now, I'm guard this house. If got fire damage or anything, if the owner come back, there's no house, it's all burned down, then I'm in.
So like an insurance claim, does that?
Hey, Lexington?
Yeah, claim.
If the house burns down while she has insurance on it and the owner comes back to claim it, does the
Or-
owner get the insurance claim? Or
Yeah, yeah, whatever the fee I pay for insurance, could the owner can I ask an owner to pay that back too?
You can ask them to pay anything back, but whether you would have to, they're only gonna give you either the 25% in the first year or the 50 in the second year. So whatever you put invested in the property or whatever insurance premiums, or if you've, but filed a claim, you saying, would you be for the proceeds of the claim? Would you get the money from the claim if they redeemed in the middle of your claim? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you know, when I'm waiting, waiting for the period, they have you have the 6 months and then 2 years. Okay. In between, I had to put insurance on.
Mhm.
I just wonder, can I get, if the owner want to redeem
Mhm.
the property back,
Mhm.
can I get this money back
For your premium?
or just the insurance?
No.
I don't know.
Mm-mm.
No,
Yeah.
premium.
Lexington?
Huh? Yes.
Yeah, I have chapter 34 pulled up right here.
Okay.
And it says regarding the cost, the amount reasonably spent by the purchaser for maintaining, preserving, and safekeeping the property, including the cost of property insurance, repairs or improvements required by local ordinances or building code, or by a lease of the property in effect on the date of the sale, discharge and lien imposed by municipality, the various different expenses you can recover per chapter 34, on that link you have
You
there.
can recover it because you can give the county a list. Like I said, my lady friend, she gave them a list of lock changing, mowing. She gave them an itemized list, but they did not enforce it. They only gave back. So she would have had to go to small claims court, and then I would have that code. So that's why I said it has to be enforced probably by a judicial body, but that it don't tell you that in there. But from my experience here in Tarrant County, the county offices only only collects the purchase price and the premium. And then if they can't negotiate or get the payment for all of those expenses that they expended on the property, then you have to go to another jurisdiction to collect. And the judge may read that and be like, more than likely say, hey, we're gonna put a judgment on you, y'all pay them because they did improve and preserve your property during their ownership of it.
Or are you able to rent out these properties that you buy at the tax sales during the redemption?
Absolutely. Absolutely. During the redemption period, yes, because you have, so you get the deed to the property once you buy it. You get the deed, you are the owner. And if anyone's in the house, I went to the constable because I used to be scared to buy it if it had people in it, but now I'm not. Because I went down to the constable and they give you a packet. Chapter 24 is what they printed out in the packet, and you just give them a 30-day notice and start the eviction process. But I try to work out a lease with them, and give them time. I had a lady whose daughter was really sick, and I did a 7-month lease with her. So until she moved out. But to answer your question, yes, we are, all the costs you put in, you are due to get that back. But you have to probably go to JP court if it's under the JP court 20,000, I think is the limit for JP court. Then you have to go district or civil if it's over that. But I don't, so in order to circumvent that, I just don't try to put less money, the less money as possible in it. And if they get it back, I'm gonna get 25,000 in the case of $100,000 house and 50,000. I think that's the easier way. So I won't be having to take people to court.
So on that second bullet.
I hope, oh, I'm sorry. Did I answer your question? Sir? I don't know who was talking.
Yeah, you answered. I was just curious about that because, you know, you don't have to like, you probably do a light rehab to make it rentable and still come out ahead, whether or not they redeem or not. And maybe after the redemption period, kind of do the Mac Daddy and make it more like a Tim's houses and that, where they're much nicer. You know, so you have-
Absolutely. Yes, by learning these rules, you develop your strategy on how you want to work them. And so I don't want to go to JP court with nobody. So I work mine a certain way, but like the light rehab, that's it's on, and if they come back, you can take them to the small claims or whatever. But I just don't work mine like that. And so somebody,
You're getting the 25%, let's use the example of 1 year. So you're getting the 25% back anyway. If you file for all these other things, is that in addition to the 25%?
Yes, you'll be filing for that on top.
25% should cover insurance and things like that.
Oh,
As a sure thing. And then you can take them to court
Mhm.
for more.
Yeah, if you fixed it up. But then, yeah, that's to answer her question. And what was your
so
question?
my question is, on that second bullet point, it's the first year, second year, which would apply to the homestead, right?
The second year is homestead, yes.
Well, first year does that apply to the non-homestead properties? Okay.
It applies to both. It applies to both. So no matter if it's a 180-day redemption or a 2-year redemption, anytime in the first year, you're gonna get 25 back,
Okay.
or 180 days in that case, because it wouldn't go a year if
Right.
it was a non-homestead. And then the second year is 50.
Okay, thank you. And then the
Oh,
third
that's a good question. I never had nobody answer that because there is a little 180-day little split. Yeah, I peeped it, because I'm an analyst too. Yeah.
And then they're done, right? Third year, they can't come back anymore.
The third year? Oh, yeah, no.
They're done.
Good, yeah. I like her face. Y'all should have seen her face when she said goodbye. It's like hasta la vista, baby. Okay. She had the hasta la vista, baby. Look, okay, I know y'all didn't see that online. It was hilarious. Okay. So hold on, let go. Okay, so do anyone online have any more questions on this slide? Let's talk about the drawbacks. Okay. I don't really see none, but I'm gonna just discuss them with you. Okay, so like Mark said, you can't go inside, right? So you got to do a drive-by and hopefully, just hope for the best or whatever. So it is kind of risk-taking, but it's fun, whatever. And then the property can be pulled right before the sale or avoided even after the purchase. That happened to me last year because I had bought 2 houses in May. And then they called me, they was like, Lexington. And the way she drew out Lexington real long, I knew it was something. She like, Lexington. And her name Josie. I know the Linebarger people real well, and they know me. But anyway, I don't know if that's a good thing, but whatever. And so she's like, they had paid their taxes like 4 days before the sale, and we're going to have to void this sale. I was like, oh, okay. And so I got my money back with interest from the court registry. So that wasn't a redemption. That was just a voided sale. So I got my money back to buy something else. So whatever. I don't be worried about stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because it's always opportunities, 254 counties. So give me my money back. I'm gonna buy something else. Okay.
Well,
So,
the other thing about that, Alexi, is if you don't ever make the bid, you're never going to get the sale. So if you got one that was, closed out and you got your money back,
Mhm.
At least you tried it.
Yeah, and then I can buy something else the next month.
That's right.
So, and then like the house that I had bought last year, I'm rehabbing that now because I got a title company to clear the title. So normally I would have had to hold on for 2 years, but I had a title company. So I go by title companies too now. You know, I have people I work really good with. So if they say we'll insure the title, then I'll go on and rehab it. Hmm. Yes, it depends on the title company. Some have stricter guidelines towards tax foreclosures. You know, some people say, hey, we won't insure for 4 years no matter what. It was one of those title companies. And I was like, okay, thanks. They're not title tax foreclosure friendly. So I didn't go with them, but mhm.
So you got a homestead house that was 2 years technically.
Mhm.
So the homestead house is 2 years technically,
Mhm.
but the title company in a year said you're free and clear, and you went ahead and rehabbed it.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
they're going to pay you if that person comes back in 2 years with all the money you put in.
Right. Yeah, they're gonna yeah.
Okay, all right. I just want
Yeah.
to make sure I heard.
So
There's certain title insurances that you
Mhm.
need to get if you want them
endorsements.
to cover, yes.
Mhm.
You make sure you have the right endorsements if you want to get paid back for any rehab you do. A normal title policy without the endorsement for, I forget what they call it, but the improvements on the property, they will only pay you back or cover you up to your purchase price, not for anything in addition, not for any interest payments you'd been making or anything like that. You need to make sure you're getting the right endorsements on it.
Okay. Yeah, and plus this one, I have a whole bunch of proof that it wasn't a homestead because it had a substandard violation open since 2018. So they can try, but yeah, you know, but it'll be a fight or whatever. I'm ready. So okay, property. So the property may have occupants. So like with this one. The occupants, so at first I used to just buy land, then I just was buying vacant houses. And then when the competition got more stiff, I was like, oh, I gotta buy some with people in it. And so, I mean, and then the people said, don't worry about it, just go down to the constable and talk to the constable. And they taught me how to do so now I'm comfortable with that. So I would go mail them a letter. I wouldn't go the day after the sale and be like, I just bought your house. I don't do that because you don't know what mental state people are in or whatever. So I send a certified and a regular mail letter, and I'll be like, hey, your home was purchased on this day. Please, you know, and I give check marks. Hey, do you want to, one, move out, or number two, do a lease? You know, call me so we can talk, you know, and that's what my letter is. It is real friendly and sweet, you know, and then they end up calling me and we talk. So that's how I do that with the people with people who are inside the house. Unknown condition of the property. Like I said, you're gonna come up with how much you're gonna pay for it. So if you anticipate that it's raggedy or whatever, just come up with your price, and if you get outbid it, come back next month. But I really don't, I'm not concerned, you know, with the condition of the property, but I do recommend driving by, sending somebody to drive by if it's out of a different county. Get a local realtor you might work with, you know, find a realtor that's willing to take pictures and stuff for you or walk the property because you do want to at least know it's there. Because let me tell you, I got a story on this one. So out over in Stop Six over there by the Arlington Lake, Ramey and Truman and Abacourt, if anybody Fort Worth or Fort Worthians, 76112 or whatever. I know stuff by zip code because I'm in real estate. So it was a house over there. So it was on the list. I'm driving, you know, I highlight the ones I'm interested in. We driving by. And it just was rubble. And I was like, they got this as improved, but it ain't hold on. I like up land, you know, I put land and I put my maximum bid and then drove on to the next one. So at the tax sale, got to that property. And you know, it was like 8,000 because it's 2017, whatever. So lots was like 8,000. So that was my max. That thing went for 26,000 because I was getting houses for 20 back then. I said, who is bidding? And so I'm looking around. I said, ooh, they didn't go drive by that property. They didn't even drive because they just kept going up and battling it. Because if you go to Google Images, it was a whole house there.
Yeah.
on Google Images.
Yes.
But I drove by and see rubble.
Oh.
I always got to drop. I always do your drop. Now I did buy something blind, but I'll tell you about that. It was fun. I still rent it to this day. Anyway, so sometimes you get a little cocky or whatever. Like I've been doing this for years. I don't know what this is, but I'm gonna buy it. Say it's a. I have done that. So anyway, research. Zoning, the location, repair orders. Like I say, I use public information and find out if it have substandard violations, border up and all that stuff. So I do that. It's very important if it have an easement on it, if it has floodplain, if it's in floodplain. So it's a whole bunch of free research tools. And I want to cut in and ask y'all this. Would y'all be interested in me creating a research course or okay? Okay, with a show of hands. Okay, so y'all would come to that. Y'all enjoy it. Okay, because there's different research you do for rural property versus city property in a municipality. So I would love to create that course if that's something y'all interested in. I'm not gonna create it if y'all don't want it. Easements. Oh, good question, Ruth said. Okay.
You need a title search.
Yeah, easements. Yeah, I normally search the legal description to see what encumbrances are on there. And so I got a story on this one, the easements. So easements are like you can have a water line easement, drainage easement, right-of-way easement. Easements are legal, supposed to be recorded uses of the property. Just like most subdivisions have a 5-foot utility easement in the back so that TXU can come cut the trees. So it's a right for that utility company or whatever the easement is to pass on the property. That's what an easement is.
I have
It's-
another
Uh-huh.
example is sometimes a lot of family, but maybe this more happen in a rural area. For example, 100 acre. Then when the parents die and their brother and sister, they all in the same property, then they will have an easement go through maybe their siblings' property, so they can exit to go to the road.
Access easement.
Yeah.
That's an access
Yeah.
easement. Yes. Oh, good one. Okay, that's another one.
What kind of easements are a problem is what I meant. The 5-foot easement's normal.
Mhm.
Don't care about that.
The
What-
problematic ones, Ruth Ann so that goes into my story. I got a story, y'all.
Was she a plant? Did you pay her back these questions?
Hey, good job, Ruth Ann. I'm gonna pay you later, girl. See me after the class. Okay, so okay. So I bought this. I was building. I thought I wanted to be a home builder. I done tried all kinds of stuff in real estate. Cause did I tell y'all I love real estate? I told y'all, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So I used to try to be a home builder, right? And that, back in my 30s or whatever, I was gun ho, thought I could do everything. But anyway, so then I was building a house on the corner of Little John and over in Polly somewhere. And then it was a middle lot. It was 2 lots next to this house that I was building. And so one was owned by the city in the middle, and then this other one went to tax sale. So I was like, okay, I can ask the city if I can buy that one. Then I'm gonna buy this one at tax sale. It went up to the tax sale because I tried to contact the owners, couldn't find them or whatever. This was back in 2017 or something. Yeah. And so a lot of stuff happened in 2017. I was willing and dealing. And so I bought the lot for $6,500. And after I sold a half constructed house, because that was kind of like a nightmare for me, but I'll do it again now because I'm smarter, and more wiser or whatever. I'll build another house, and I am. Okay, I'll let y'all know about it. But anyway, so I was selling the half constructed house, and I was like, I'm gonna sell this lot too. Wasn't getting nobody to call me and stuff, so I called my homeboy at the city. I'm like, can I get a utility map of this area over here? And then did a public information request on that middle lot that the city owned. I wonder, like, why did they purchase this property in the middle of, this lot? Because I say I want everything. I want to sell it as a bundle package, right? So it had a house with 2 lots so that, they can run around, kids and everything. That's the vision I had. So found out they had bought in 1978, they bought it for drainage, the middle lot. So when he gave me the map, guess what? That drain line bisected right through the middle of that lot that I bought, the $6,500 lot.
The one you had the construction on?
No, it just clipped it, but it was still in the right of way kind of. So it had went diagonal through the lot that the city actually bought in the 70s, and then it bisected. But I look up stuff because I researched it. I didn't see an easement. So I called, so my friend was like, hey, you might want to talk to the city attorney. Called the city attorney. They already knew me because I had worked there 10 years, So her name Leanne. I said, and so because I had wrote them a nice letter, nice nasty letter. And I was like, this is an unrecorded easement on my lot. So the only problem is if it's unrecorded. And then so after I sent it to the lead attorney. So the lady that I used to work with, she called me up. She's like, Lexington, how you doing? I said, hey. She's like, how much you want for this lot?
In the city park.
Yeah. 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 I said either because my nice nasty letter was like, move your line or pay me. That's the only options I gave.
Still 20,000.
It was a little more than that.
Okay.
So, but yeah, anyway, because they like the market value, this ain't a market sale because I didn't want to sell it. Not really, I want to sell it as a package, but since y'all, anyway, it was a whole cute call. So research. So now I get maps. If I buy land, I get utility maps. So I add that on my checklist too. So that's why I'm excited about doing the research class. I got so much stories. Did somebody raise their hand? Oh. How do I advance it? Is it the back? Okay. How do I bid? Oh, there we go. Boom. Do you have the magic touch? Tim got the magic touch, y'all. Okay, so how do you bid? You can bid in person or online. So ever since 2015, some of the counties they allowed us to go online here in Texas. So more and more catching on. Like I've been researching, I try to see who's new been added and they'll give me, so it's really catching on. And so what I like about the online, okay, I'll tell y'all about it. So this is what you need to know. So whether it's in person or online, find out what their registration process is. Because I've been down at the county and like the first Tuesday, I'm like super focused and people like, where do we well, do you know about this and what we do? So I always prepare before I go, so you won't be running around aimlessly at the sale trying to figure stuff out. So find out what your registration forms is, the start times, the locations, and whether the platform is online or not. They only take cash. Like he said, you had to run to your bank, find a local bank with some money in it or a line of credit. Make sure you have money in the bank, because they only give you about an hour after the sale to come up with the money. Or make sure your sugar daddy know before, you go to sell. And then be like, have your money ready. So keep in mind that the properties are subject to post-judgment taxes and they have to be paid, and add that amount to your minimum bid. So be sure to figure out this amount when determining your maximum bid. Post-judgment taxes. So a lot of times, so Linebarger them do a suit for back taxes. Sometimes, so let's say this year is 2025. So let's say they did the judgment in 2024 or 2023, and then they just now getting it around to the sale. You will still be responsible for 2024 and 2025's taxes. So you have to go to the tax website, find out what those 2 years amount is, and add that to the, to your minimum bid. Like say, hey, I know I'm gonna have to pay this price, plus after that, I'm gonna get a tax bill.
Is that assessed at the moment of the sale or is that annual?
It's annually, but normally on the list that they give you when you get on the Linebarger or whoever list, it's gonna say subject to 2024 taxes or subject to 2023, and so it's gonna tell you what what tax years you're subject to. So,
You pay that on top of what you bid for.
right, that's why I'm saying, yeah, make sure to know those amounts and stuff. You can, I mean, I had the protest class last year, but yeah, I always file a motion, honey, yeah, I'll tell you about it. Yeah, cause if I bought, just like the little house I bought last year, right, and I had got it for 58,000, they had it for 108, so of course I got it dropped. I showed them hey, this, and they like, okay, they know me down there too, they be like, Lexington, okay. So they already know me. And so make sure you incorporate that into the minimum. Now, if depending on what it sold for, and if there's excess, there's ways to get that paid through some stuff. But anyway, that'll be a paid consultation. So y'all can book me for paid consultation. Okay. So which counties conduct sales, online sales? And it's getting more and more. So the biggest platform is called realauction.com. For those who have your computer, it's called Real Auction. Right now they have 24 counties, and I listed them here. And I just love this site because that's where I be going being nosy at the other counties, And you can go online and it had a calendar. You can click on it. You can go to Google, Google Images, the text. It have all the links to the county assessor page. You have it's like a research heaven, when you go in and look at these sales. And some of them don't have them every month, but Dallas does, the larger counties do. Ellis is quarterly. Dallas is every month. And I've looked at New Etches, down the court. I just be nosy. Just go on there.
I thought they were.
We're still old school. We gotta go see each other. Down. So what I like about this is that you can put in your proxy bid on the online, put in your deposit, you gotta you can ACH or wire the money. And then once it comes in your escrow account, you allocate it to the county that you're gonna bid. And then you can put in a proxy bid, set your limit, and then go down to Tarrant County sale in person. That's what you listen, you could be at 4-5 tax sales every month and don't have to drive. Okay, y'all ain't excited. Don't this is exciting. Okay. I love real estate. Okay. So tax deed auction. So I'm just to show y'all a little bit about the page, because I'm so excited about it. So you just you click down for those who got your computer, y'all can go to realauction.com, go to clients up in the corner, and then you drop down and you pick Texas, drop down to the state and the county. And then, so for this example, it's Smith. I think that's Tyler, Texas or whatever, 2 hours away. So this is their handsome constable guy, I guess, or the Texas sheriff. Oh, he the sheriff. Oh, he is the sheriff. Okay. I'm so excited. I want to look you. Okay, this is the handsome sheriff with his big white hat. And then you go to the calendar. You can see how many properties are going up, because normally it'll have a number before that, and then as it gets struck off, people pay their taxes, that number changes, during the month. And then these are all the good old rules. The written statement is very important because and it's normally you pay $10 and it's good for 90 days. So if you're doing multiple counties, you can put it on your calendar when you need to renew your written statement. So it's like $40 a year, you're renewing 4 times. So just to stay active so you can bid on stuff. But it's making sure they want to make sure you don't owe them any taxes, property tax, because they're not going to let you bid. Because if you're not paying your property taxes, why are you buying property? Yeah, that makes sense to me. I mean, I give them my $10 every 3 months.
I want to go make money to pay my taxes.
Oh.
That's why I want to go.
You know what, Tim? You can tell he'll negotiate and be like, they like, sir, you owe such and such. Well, I need to buy this land and sell it so I can pay the tax. But they don't.
Excuse me. So if I want to go online, I go to the county website or go to the auction.com.
Go on realauction.com, www.realauction. This is the image for y'all online. This is an image of www.real auction.com. And so that if you want to follow along, but you got to create a login, I believe, to get into the nitty gritties. But I think you can access the calendars or something.
Lexi,
Uh-huh.
somebody's asking, does the realaction.com also does foreclosures and tax sales? So foreclosures too?
It does not, okay, Real Auction does not do trustee sales or mortgage foreclosures. They do tax liens like in Florida and like those other states that do tax lien. They do tax lien sales on here in other states because like they had Arizona. They tax lien is 16%. So that's still a good return on your money. So they do tax lien sales and they do tax deed sales, just whoever their client is and who they signed on to their platform, you can access it. I would just go play around and be nosy. I can spend hours on here being nosy.
So if you bid online, how do you pay? Online? You wire? You wire?
Yeah, you can, so ACH, you gotta do the deposit. Hold on. Okay, I fist to tell y'all about it. And she's always a hit. Yeah, I think I'll give you some. Okay, so purchaser at the tax sale must have a written statement. It's like I said, $10 for 90 days. Some counties do not require it, but you must present it after winning the bid. So I like counties that do that because if you don't have to have my $10 and I didn't win nothing, I can save my $10. But most counties want it before then. So here we go about your deposit and how to pay. So you got to make an escrow deposit. So you can do it ACH or wire. And then you have to allocate the funds to the particular county. And I missed out on one of my prices because I didn't allocate. I had the money in there, but I forgot to put it to the county that I did my so when I didn't win, I'm like, oh my God. Okay. So I done made all the little mistakes and stuff. So pay consultation, I can walk you through it.
You have to already have the money in there before you bid.
The deposit.
What amount is the deposit?
It can be, good question. It could be 5%. See, so for Smith County is 5%. How much is, where's that little, okay, here we go.
Kind of TV screen.
Oh, it's got to, okay. So how much is the deposit? In Smith County is 5% of whatever you're gonna bid. So in Ellis County is 10%. So if your maximum bid is 100,000 that particular month, so you have to put in $5,000. You know, if you gave yourself a budget of 100,000 that month to bid on property, then you would deposit 5,000. And then in Ellis, that would be 10,000 because they require 10%. So you got that? Is that part clear?
And then it comes back to you.
Oh yeah, you just take it back from that county, from Smith County, and put it back into your general account. Then you can transfer it back to your account that you put it in, or you can keep it in there for next month. But I don't like people holding my money because I want to make money. I need my money to be moving around. I'm not gonna let them sit on my money for, yeah. But that's just me. You operate your business. I'm giving y'all the information so you can operate your business how you want. And then, so the refund process, they got all this stuff. So it says you can, the method, so it's just saying whatever account you put, the ACH or wire, you have to use on the ACH, you got to use that. They're going to refund it to that same account. So you can't send it from another account and then say, oh no, put it in this account. And then they got frequently asked questions. How do foreclosure auctions work? I mean, they have a whole bunch of questions. Look at all that. You could just go on there and just, they tell you everything. And then they have a 1-800 number on top of that if it's not clear. And then just talk to the people. I think they know me there too. So bonus tips. Okay. Know what you are bidding on. Okay, so I had some people went to a tax sale class and they ended up, because they're selling different things down there. So let me tell you about, so they have HOA. They're set, at the tax sale, you can have a HOA auction at the tax sale. You have, what they call it, like judgment, people trying to recoup on judgments. So, property that's not your homestead, if you have a judgment against you, the constable can post a non-homestead property up for sale to recoup a judgment that you had against you. They're called writs of execution. So make sure you're not bidding on a writ. Cause I had somebody go down there and bid it on the writ. They're like, Lexington, what did I buy? I'm like, oh gosh, I was like, I don't know about writs, you know? So make sure you're bidding on actual property interest, because I don't know how to collect on writs or nothing. And then they have mineral interests that go up. And normally you'll know it's mineral because it'll say well this and IH1 well number such and such. So, and then also you can go to the county and see if it's an oil and gas account. So if you buy mineral interest and buying mineral interest is your thing, they're also available at the tax sale. But I like houses and land, so I want a lot, block, you know, whatever. Uh-huh.
If you're buying mineral interest, let's say I had a mineral interest, you're not paying for it, so how can you have a judgment for mineral interest? I'm not getting that.
Mineral accounts that you are taxable. And if they don't pay the taxes on their mineral interest.
If I have mineral rights, I have to pay taxes on it?
For producing wells. Oh, anybody paying taxes on their mineral interest? Okay, so don't they send you a bill every? And if you don't pay, then it's gonna be on the courthouse step at the constable's, the sheriff's cell. Yeah, and then you get the lease changed over and everything. I mean, I do that on the tax foreclosures. You know, if I see a lease in the history, I'll call the company up. I'm like, hey, I'm the new mineral owner. And now I get checks. And here, I love real estate, y'all. Listen, did I tell y'all?
Tell us how you feel.
I want to make sure I told y'all. Okay. Yeah, so all the tax foreclosures, if I see that a mineral lease was signed in 08, 09 when they were doing it real heavy, I just be like, can y'all transfer that over? Lexington Wright, LEX. Yeah, okay. And I make sure they have my account numbers and everything. So, so the mineral interest, you can buy that at the tax sale. HOA foreclosures, they are under different rules. I mean, I haven't got into them because I just be wanting the fee simple. I be trying to get close to fee simple as I can. But you get a tax deed. But anyway, but I mean, I want a deed. I don't do HOA foreclosures. Have to talk to an attorney about that. Writs of execution, I stay away from those. Mobile homes or real property. Oh, if you get into those rural counties, you have to pay taxes on your mobile home.
Yeah.
So you have to make sure you're just not buying a mobile home.
Yeah.
And you're buying land. Make sure it has a lot block.
Separate.
Yeah, look at the description, because sometimes it'll say home only, and if it's registered as you can register a mobile home as real property or personal property. Even if it's personal, I mean, it's not real estate if it's not attached or affixed to the land in a certain way, and you got to get the certificate of attachment. So you still have to pay taxes on the category if it's a separate property. If it's personal property, you have to pay taxes, and sometimes they go delinquent and they just put the mobile home up. So make sure if you want land and you just buy the mobile home, you're like, oh, okay, whatever. So you just want to stay away from that. And partial interest, this is a big one. Oh, bless you. This is a big one. People that are new down there, like it'll tell you, you just have to look at these legal descriptions and what they're selling. It'll say, sometimes when you have somebody that passed, the siblings, it's like two siblings, then one half 50%, the other half 50%. So the county and the assessor give them 2 tax bills. So if one of them don't pay their taxes, but the other one is paying their taxes, the 50% owner is gonna go to tax delinquency. And only their interest is gonna be bidded. So some people think they bidding on the whole house, and I'm just like, cause I could tell by how high the bidding go, I'm like, oh, they didn't look at, kind of like that house that was rubble. And yeah, I just kind of grit my teeth for 'em. I'm like, "Ugh." Okay, they didn't look. But so make sure you know what you're bidding on and what you're buying, and that's something that you want. And like I said, research, research, research. Water, sewer, if it's land, I want to make sure it had water, sewer taps. If it's not a house on there, was it a house on there? Especially in a city, you can tell that pretty easily because I'll go back to the deed. If it had a deed of trust back from the, 90s or 80s, or if it had a repair order and the house got demolished, but it's going to have water and sewer taps if a house used to be there, more than likely. Or get that sewer plat map from your local city.
Question. Somebody who came to the city, nice for the city, he bought it through the tax, and the city had issued a demolish permit or something. He didn't know, and he bought it. He didn't want it demolished, but he was fighting to not demolish it. You can do that, right?
What city did you work in? Oh, okay, we can. Okay. But yeah, so I bought some property too that had repair orders on it, or had in the city come after me. Soon as the deed changed, they sending me a letter, and they know me down at Code Compliance too. So because the houses be in bad shape, like I said, they be leaning and stuff, and so they tried to say, oh, you need to fix up this house, or we're gonna either put a demolish order. They try to take me to the substandard board. So I emailed them. I said, hey, this is the Texas property code I'm subject to 2 years. I said, come back and holler at me at 2 years. And they're like, well, no, you could do this, or you could put a lien. I said, oh, y'all telling me how to do my business? Oh, okay. And then like the one I bought last year, they was trying to tell me to fix that up. And I said, I looked up the case. This has been open since 2018. I said, you didn't make the previous owners fix it up? I said, but you want me to fix it up soon after I buy it. Okay, whatever. And so I just told them to, yeah, okay. Anyway, I have ways, and I've done that with like 2 or 3 properties. So on the one on South Freeway, they waited out. The officer knew me from when I worked, and she put it on hold for 2 years. So it just depends on who you get. But I just say, hey, y'all ain't did nothing to the previous people, and I'm under this Texas statute that I can't really do nothing to it because it's a redemptible deed. So y'all gonna wait the 2 year or to whenever I get the title cleared, to get it fixed up.
But dude on your name.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. Some people, it depends on who you talk to down there. They're all. I mean, but I'm just saying the city code compliance trying to make you fix it up right away. And I look up, I do an information request. I get all of the notices and code violations. I say, you've been trying to get this house fixed since 2008, 6 years ago, and now you rushing me? No, y'all wait 2 more years. Let's do 8. Let's make it 8. Okay, anyway, they know me. So I get the plat, because you don't want to spend $400 to survey a property, and you don't know if it's going to be pulled the day before the sale or something. So I normally pull plats if I'm concerned about the size. Floodplain, that's important because you don't. I did buy something in a floodplain, ended up reselling. Anyway, it was fine. Zoning. Okay, so I have a zoning story. So I had a client that wanted to buy this duplex in Stop 6, okay? It was in bad shape. And she's like, I want to buy it, rehab it, make it a duplex again. So I checked the zoning and it was A5, which is residential in Fort Worth. So I called them. I said, how is this a duplex and y'all got its own single family? They said, well, there was an ordinance to rezone all of Stop 6 A5. And so if the water is not on for 2 years, it automatically reverts to A5. Because they had an ordinance, to make it fluid or cohesive, make the zoning fluid and cohesive. So they changed it to A5. So I told her, she's like, okay, that's fine. I'll still buy it. It had, I can make it a house. And so I was like, okay. So, but then we found out after we got title back that it had a big old gas line in the back, like a big one, transmission line size gas line. And that was the kicker. She was like, I don't want to know more, because you would have to, if they only bury it 3 feet, at most, or whoever it was, Chesapeake or whoever it was, yeah, had a big old easement and a 35-foot easement. Now, Stop Six got really long lots, but still it bisected, and but now that I know what I know, I would have fought the zoning, because it's like, and I have a friend that's doing that now because they got a church over in Como, like 4,000 square foot building. They had that same initiative over there, making everything A5, and now their building's A5, but they want to do group homes, so it needs to be community facility. So I was like, I would so fight them, if I were, because I be fighting and stuff too. They be knowing me down there at the city, but you're doing them a disservice to have the zoning of a commercial building at A5. You're ripping out the potential for money. To me, so I would fight them. So HOA, make sure it's not in, if it's in a HOA, you got to pay HOA dues, or it could be delinquency. But of course, at the tax sale, it's gonna wipe out the delinquency, so you start out new. But you still want to know if there's a HOA there and what you have to adhere to. Service providers, especially rural, they have some different stuff going on down in Hood County, honey, and them rural providers. You got MUDs and all kind. MUD is a municipal utility district. So when you get rural, and you got to know if it's septic, if you need to do one of them little soil tests and all this and that. Municipal utility district, who's your electric service provider, and your internet. So you can dive into a hole on researching. Improve property, you want to look up building standards code, like because normally they file a repair order, so your friend probably didn't look up, to see, because if a house is kind of beat up, I'm gonna look for that now. If the city has an open code violation, or if they have an order to demolish on it.
So
But-
you gotta go to city to find out that you didn't have any code, or you know how to be fixed.
But Fort Worth make it easy. It's called one address, and I'll just be nosy, and then they'll tell you all the open code violations. They'll tell you if you got an open permit, the neighbors got permits, or anybody around got a permit. I'll just go in there and be nosy.
Is that a website?
One address, www.one for City of Fort Worth.
That site is extremely helpful and detailed.
See, he vouched for it. It's a nosy person's paradise. I be on there.
The thing I like is you take the address that you're researching and want to buy, you can see all the neighbors and how many code violations and what kind of code violations and what kind of crime reports all around.
Crime and zoning. It got zoning on there.
Plus
Trash
the fire-
pickup.
Fire department.
The code compliance person number, substandard. I mean, yeah, it's wonderful. So before you go buy a property, if it look kind of beat up, be like, do we got an open code violation? So you be ready for that. But I don't care about those, because I'll give them a repair, like, hey, this is my plan, and they can stop the order. So I've bought houses that had repair orders, and like I used to get the list out. That was one of my hustles too. I done a lot of stuff. I used to get the list of repair orders and buy it from the people before the hearing. Then I show up at the hearing and I'd be like, here's what we're gonna do, and I'm gonna sell it to this guy. I just was willing and dealing back in the day, honey. I mean, I still do, but I'm getting old. Anyway, become familiar with the eviction process, like go to your constable and get that package. Find out when the utilities were on last. So I called Encore and I called the Fort Worth Water. They really, for privacy purposes, they haven't been telling me about the water, but I just keep calling until I get somebody. I said, can you give me a month and a year or maybe a year? And then they'll be like, okay, I can give you the year. So I keep calling back. So I guess they know me down there. Did I tell you that the city know? Okay. Anyway, I'm like a nuisance lady. So, mobile homes, like I said, is it classified as personal or real property? And then go look at the property. I can't stress that enough. See if it's rubble or if it's a house.
There's also a little tiny thing at the bottom of your Google Maps where there's a year that it was taken. So
It is. Mm-hmm.
You're talking about the utilities, electric utilities, when they move out, they turn electric off. If there's anything wrong with a house at the time, they'll red tag that meter.
Mm-hmm.
And then whenever you get ready to have it turned back on, you may have to bring the whole house back up to code before they'll turn your electric back on.
Yep, that's what I had to do with the one I bought. It's like we had to get it down to the studs and get permit. And we just passed Thursday, so I took a self-care day yesterday and got my nails done. It was wonderful. So yeah, we had just passed the plumbing and everything, and the electric. I was like, whoo. So yeah, but yeah, they do tag it, and you got to do some, or send the plumber out there or somebody to go talk to them and get a permit. But that's no problem. I love I love everything about real estate.
I love real estate.
I love real. I told y'all that? Oh, okay. Any
I've
questions?
heard that once.
You heard? Oh, okay. I did tell you. Okay. Okay.
The website to look up the code is that one address, Fort Worth.
www.oneaddress.com, right, Tim?
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only
I just click a link,
You just
but yes, it's Fort Worth.
one.
Yeah, I haven't
Oh,
found any
somebody in
others
there
like
want
that.
it. Okay.
It's amazing.
I need to come up with some research. So in the research class, that's one of the links I'm gonna put when I create my research class for y'all. Now that I know y'all want it, I'm gonna create it, because I love real estate. Okay, so, this is some of the stuff that I'm good at, and then y'all can book me for a paid consultation. Because I got to get my nails done and be cute and buy perfume. So I can't do it for free, but y'all can get my time for a little investment, in your education.
There's a pretty short list there, Lexi. I thought you were pretty good at a lot of things.
It'll fill up the page though, y'all. I would have the font would have had to be real tiny, So
Lexington has an inferiority
Is there
complex.
is there any rate that you've seen, or like any number that officially shows what the redemption rate is? How many people are actually redeeming versus the percent of the properties?
Oh, that's some good analytical knowledge. I think I can do a public information in that if it's through the county. You know what? Let me research that, because I love that. Can somebody write that down? Because I'm now find out. I don't know if the tax office can give back that information, but they know me down there, so I'm gonna ask. Yeah.
They know you.
They know me. Yeah.
The nuisance bill.
Still.
I have another question.
Okay.
Also, you talked about some of the places to find lists. So like the Linebarger website, Purdue website. Where else can you find the tax lists for counties?
Bragg and they name is kind of funny.
So like Linebarger, they do mostly school districts, right?
They do
everything.
City.
Okay, so they do city and county.
Suing on behalf of the taxing entity.
Yeah.
So if they only have one entity to go up, they have to redo it and add in everybody, or you either gonna be just buying they have to end up voiding the sale if it's just an ISD suit go up there, then they have to redo it. Sometimes they be making mistakes and have to, but
So
they
who
need
does
to
it
have all the
for-
entities in there.
Who does it for Tarrant County?
Linebarger.
Okay.
Linebarger if you go up, I wish it was interactive. I could show y'all. It'll show all their list of clients and all the people, all the counties they serve. Linebarger is the biggest, but you got Purdue, like I said, and Purdue do a lot of school districts. Purdue do a lot of school. See, look, Mark do a lot of school districts, and then McCreary, Bragg, and somebody, they the Central Texas, so they do Anderson County, like the Central Texas, Palestine. I don't know all their clients, but I have all of them bunched up and I just be looking every month. I just be researching and analyzing every month. And then, what else? Hidalgo, is on a different, that's, online, but they do through different platforms. So I'm researching all the platforms now and trying to collect who all doing online sales in Texas.
3 quick questions.
Mm-hmm.
How much advance notice do you have before that sale on that Tuesday comes out to go research these properties drive by?
That's a good question.
That's number 1.
21 days.
21 days.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Number 2, how many properties are you doing a year on average?
I used to do more, but the prices done went up, and sometimes the way my pockets be looking, you know.
The reason I'm asking, if you do like 10, 20, how many of those out for you personally, how many do you end up redeeming each year?
If they redeem it from me,
Yes.
I've had 2 redemptions.
The whole time you've done it.
And I've bought a lot because I know between 2016 and 18, I probably bought like 56 because I was flipping a lot of lots, you know, and so I think I bought like 56 in like 3 years and stuff. But I've only had 2 in my whole since starting tax sales September 6, 2016. I've had 2 redemptions and bought a lot of property.
And I would, if I had to guess without you saying anything, I would suspect that the number of redemptions is low anyhow. They didn't pay the taxes after all this time. You know, what's the chance of them getting their act together, getting through whatever problem in life that they're dealing with and fixing it and being able to go pay?
Well,
and now they got to pay not just their taxes, but they got to
the
pay
premium on top because they do get excess proceeds, and sometimes I be worried that after they get the excess proceeds, they gonna get some more money from somewhere and redeem it. But that's why I like sitting on them. I don't know. I can't predict what people will do, but I'm not fist to pour in a lot of money.
Yep.
But I get 25% if they come back. Like you don't get that in a savings account. So come get it. Like I'm gonna make money either way.
You get that 25%, whether they come back the next day or
Yeah.
80 days later.
And okay, she had one, and then she had because
So so I actually have 2. At the courthouse, you said there was a difference between the sale that's happening for tax reasons versus the mortgage.
yes, they're
reason.
2 different sales.
So there's 2 different courthouse steps that you go through.
Yeah, tax sales is under a cute little tent. Well, it ain't
Yeah.
cute. The tent ain't
No.
cute, but the people under it is like
No coffee and like pastries and things.
New Western be out there sometime with some water bottles.
Oh, nice.
Mhm.
Okay, so the second question is, if you don't go to the auction, if you're not there and they don't have any online anything, or even if they do have online things, how can you tell what happened afterwards?
You need
Like, is there a public record somewhere that says this?
For the online, you can get the results on the online sales. Tarrant County, I normally have friends that be telling me if I don't go, but it's ways I look it up too. So, I can, but Tarrant County don't post it nowhere. But I be finding out. Yeah, you can pay me a paid consultation, honey. I'll tell y'all more secrets. Oh, she was Nick.
Okay, so when you go to auction, you buy the property. That
Mhm.
deed is sheriff deed.
Yes.
So how could you convert sheriff deed to warranty deed or warranty TD, or you don't have to convert? Do you have to convert a deed?
Okay, that is a very good question. So I'm gonna try to answer it the best I can. So
Okay.
after those time frames pass and you want to do anything with the property, whether you want to keep it as a rental, and get a loan out on it or whatever, it'll be converted at that time to an insurable instrument. Or if you sell it, that it'll just be converted to a warranty deed once you sell it to the new owner, you know. But you get a constable's deed or a sheriff's deed, but after a certain time frame, that deed will be vested, if that makes sense, because the Texas tax code lets you know when it's gonna, everything gonna be clear from any claims or liens or anything. So it kind of convert, I guess, on its own, or it'll be recognized, you know, as a good vested title, but the title company will determine that whenever you do something with it.
Okay, so
If I hope
do
that-
you know, whatever the property you flip, do you have to convert to the warranty deed? Do you do any title change?
well, when I sell the property, the title company gonna create a warranty deed.
Oh,
And
okay.
for me, and I'm assign it to sell it to the new owner.
Oh, so you don't have to really do the sign
I
up?
don't do
Gotcha.
anything to it.
A deed
Thank
is
you.
something from a seller to a buyer.
Mhm.
The sheriff is not going to resell you the property. So you get sheriff's deed, it's gonna stay a sheriff's deed.
Mhm.
The sheriff is the one that transferred the deed to you.
Yeah.
When you give a property to someone else, you are going to warranty deed it to them. You are giving them a warranty saying, I owned this property and I am selling it to you. The deed is a transfer between two parties. It's
Okay.
not like something you can just change. Now, you can transfer it from yourself to a business you own. At that point, there would be a new deed.
Okay,
created.
that I like that.
But a deed is an agreement between two parties on the transaction of a property.
Okay, so whatever
So when the
before
sheriff
me,
sells it to you, it's
Yeah.
gonna stay the sheriff's deed unless you
Okay.
sell it to someone else.
then that will be,
Because otherwise, it's still from the sheriff to you.
okay, so will be kind of clear because I didn't do anything.
It'll be clear once the
Gotcha,
right of
so
redemption.
no
is gone.
point.
Yeah,
for you
vested.
making
Mhm.
warranty
Exactly.
deed.
A vested deed.
Thank you.
Yes. Mhm.
Last thing, just
Mhm.
is there advantage, disadvantage to buying it in your own name or in your LLC?
Okay. So they know me down there, right? Okay. So when I was talking about those the post judgment taxes, I found that owning it in my name was better for me so that I could go down there through the courts and get them paid. So that was and I can maneuver the I didn't need because if you buy it in the LLC, I would have needed attorney to represent me in petitioning for that. So yeah.
Personal, your
Yeah,
experience versus
yeah, so I always get it in my name first because I can maneuver with it in Lexington, right? And I can go talk to me. I won't have to be like, oh, here's you know, they won't prove who's all over this entity and who's authorized, and I don't have to give them operation agreements and comptroller website printouts. You don't have to do all that when it's just in your name. Like, just give them your ID on me, and I'm here to discuss my property. So.
What about trust? Is there a restriction from putting it into a trust?
You can buy it in a trust. That's how if you register for the tax sale as the trust as being the purchaser, you can buy it in your trust. Or in your business name, however you register. That's why I was like, just find out how to register for these sales, and you can put it in whatever name you want.
So I think the thing that everybody needs to think about is Lexington has a specific reason why she likes it in her name. But if you are the type that don't want your name on public records anywhere, then don't do it in your personal name, because then your name's attached to that in the history of that deed. So you might consider the LLC or a land trust type ownership.
Yeah, I just represent myself when I when I be trying to get money on different stuff. So I like being my own. I told you I was a bootleg attorney for myself. Okay, you can represent yourself all day, and I do that because they know me. They know me.
This question, I know it changes from county to county, month to month, year to year, but is there, your experience, what's the percentage of the drop off on that list each month? You go ready to buy, and then they say, "Oh, we done took off," because only time I went, they took off like 70% of the houses. I was like, "Why'd we show up?" So is it? Do you have a kind of general rule? I know it's not exact.
You got a number?
This is my experience. This is my experience. Okay, so usually you had to go there that day and find out this one got pulled, this one got pulled. But I would suggest you the day before call the county, who handle this sale, and ask them how many people is already pulled. So you don't have to go there the next morning, or you say, oh, okay, that pretty much is. Maybe the next day, maybe you have a one or but the day before, pretty much you can get the who is still on the list, who is pulled.
Oh, and about the percentages, like Granbury, like I said, Hood County had 141 time, and then it ended up being 99. Tarrant County is way worse. It depends on the county. In Dallas, you have a severe drop off in Dallas, and like the real poly-populated counties, you're gonna have the drop off is percentage. Okay. Yeah.
And my last one, are you seeing a lot of people trying to get into this and blowing up bids because they don't know what they're doing, or is it pretty much the same every year?
I have seen some unfortunate stuff. And I could tell because they be around asking, like, look, they look a certain way. I mean, I'm like, oh, baby. Okay.
So I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about the properties that don't sell. So the ones that don't sell, what happens to them? How do you find them? Or do they go for next month?
Okay, so they have been doing that. Sometime they'll, instead of striking it off to the city or the county, some of them just do represent it. They represent the properties, and that they kind of represent it. This is how I know. It's because the post judgment taxes got a whole bunch of years behind it. Like it'll have like, oh, you're responsible for this year, this year, this year. I just don't be bidding on them because the post judgment taxes be real high. But yeah, they do represent them sometime at the sale, or they'll strike it off to the trustee that serves on behalf of all the taxing entities. Then they'll resell it. So it's a whole resale site. Like I think Purdue have a resale site. And the city of Fort Worth have a resale site. They have a list of their properties and stuff. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, it's some resale sites. So that's a whole nother way to buy land, Candy. Mm-hmm. Did I answer y'all questions good? So I do development consulting. So like now I'm not taking any cases right now because I just bought me a house that I'm rehabbing in for myself that I'm moving to in Crowley. Got a great deal now. That was a mortgage situation. And then I have the one that I'm redoing now in Stop 6 that I bought last year. So but when I do start, I do consulting on the side for development. I had a client, I done rezoning cases, I do replats, I go talk to the city people because they know me, and whatever county that I did for him, like Grayson, I done did some stuff up there, they know me too. So I can get it done. Like if you trying to do new development or whatever, I know people. And property value protests. I talked to a guy down there at the ARB like 3 days ago. He said in Tarrant County, they're going to keep all the values the same as last year unless you done put in a pool or pulled a permit or upgraded the property. So that was great news. I say, you made my day because y'all not going to get to see me as much. But you can still protest. If you don't like your value from last year, you can still protest. But they're not going to see me as much, because I protested them last year and got it down real low. So now y'all gonna make it low again for me. So okay. I just wanted to give y'all that update. And then homestead exemption consultation. So sometimes like people who are under the tax foreclosures. I had a guy that ended up working on rehabbing one of my houses. And I remember back in 2019, I called him up. He was on the list, and I just was like, hey, you can just file your homestead exemption and get out of tax foreclosure and stuff. And he did it. I didn't know. I never checked back in with him. So he was working on one of my townhomes. And he's like, your name Lexington Wright, ain't it? And he said, I'm such and such, because my contractor called me from his phone and it was already in my phone. And I was like, who? And so then when I went over there, He said, "You're Lexington, right? Right." I said, "Yeah, your number was programmed." He said, "You helped me back then. You told me to file my homestead and da da da." And they took the foreclosure case, the tax foreclosure case. And I said, "Ah," and I gave him a hug. He was like, "Man, you helped me save my house." So anyway, so I do homestead exemption or people who are in heirship properties. Like if Big Mama died and then two of them staying in the house, three of them live somewhere else. So two of them staying in the house can get a portion, their portion exempted, if it's their homestead. So they'll have that protection and stuff. So I done counseled all kinds of people. If I can't buy it, I'm gonna help you save it. So any questions?
Is that good or what?
Very good. Thank you. Thank you.
I have another question.
Yes,
Do you go by Lexington or Lexi?
I like Lexington or Lex.
Okay.
But people, the OGs who've been calling me Lexi for years, like Ruth Ann and Tim and everybody, they've been grandfathered in. Exactly. They've been
We've been
grandfathered
pushing
in.
our luck.
No, what you, ooh, okay. Yeah, they grandfathered in, so I'll answer to whatever they say as long as it's nice.
Just don't call her late for dinner.
You're right. 'Cause I like grandfathers.
Well, thank you very much, Lexi. Let me get switched back over here to,
That's the copyright. That date is 2025. Yeah, but once you zoom in on the property, that may change. Like when you get to like looking at the house view. Just make sure that copyright is.
Okay, so that is the year they took. So if they took 2024, now it's 2025, May.
It could have been January.
okay, we're gonna wrap things up here real quick. So again, thank you very much, Lexington.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Good stuff. And then we're gonna hold you to feet to the fire on the new class.
Yeah, I'm a start for you.
Sign up.
Okay, so next month, we have a good treat for everybody coming in. Next month, we have Mr. William Tingle coming in. Anybody heard of William Tingle before? He teaches, he's been doing about 25, 26 years, all about creative financing type deals, in particular subject to. He's got a new book out he just published on the 12 house blueprint, and he's going to talk to us next month over at Texas Bank about building your real estate investing empire, buying one house a month. Okay, so get registered for that. It's going to be really good. He's a very good speaker, and that just got posted on the group calendar this morning, so you can go register now. Okay, so if you didn't like the $5 for 30-day special offer, you can become a monthly member. Maybe you don't like the 150 annual membership. I don't know, but you can do it for $20 a month, whichever you prefer, right? So everybody likes something different, right? And, if you like other options, you can pay the full annual membership and get 3 additional months for free by writing us a Google review. Now, I know how much you all love the group. Please go write the review. Whether you want the discount or the extended benefits, that's up to you. But please write the review. Tell other people about the group, what you like about the group, because that's important. People, I know you all go read reviews before you go buy something and you want to learn about somebody, right? So very helpful if you'll write that review for us. It's simple to do. I give you a QR code. We give you a link. So it's very simple. And then if you want to pay the full membership, but you want consultation, then this is another option for you. So you got a lot of options. Again, this presentation will be on the group calendar at the very bottom by tomorrow. And you can just go open the presentation and click the links or the QR code. Help us promote the group for both new members as well as new vendors. Okay, I can't be with, I can't see, I can't do, I can't meet all the people that you know. So if you have recommendations that you feel are a good fit for the group as far as vendors go, reach out to me, have them reach out to me, invite them to come to the group. Just think how boring our group would be if Ruth Ann wouldn't have invited Lexington 10 years ago, 11 years ago, right? So, but please invite them, have them come. A lot of people don't find out about us, so it'd be helpful if you invite them. But, you know, if you bring in people that do sign up, you know, you earn some extra credit there, a little couple extra months of membership. And, you know, we want to give a little bit back to you if you're helping us. So, and you get to earn $25 REIA bucks. Who pays you to go to a REIA meeting? We do. You get, for those of you that don't know, a member of the group earns $5 every time you register for this meeting 48 hours, 2 days before the meeting, and you attend. You automatically get $5 in your account that you may or may not know about. But we're going to give you 25 extra bucks if you help us. Okay, that money can be used for membership renewal, a workshop, a paid workshop, other courses, things like that. So keep that in mind. We need your help promoting the group. And if we have anyone join as a new vendor that you referred to us, you get 6 extra months free. That's a pretty good deal. 6 months membership for free. And nobody stole my cup. But wait, life is good. So we joke about it, but it's kind of a cool thing, right? Life is good because we love real estate. I heard that once or twice today.
I'm gonna remember.
Yeah.
So again, I need your help promoting the group. Okay. Click the QR code, click the link, and just, it takes a minute or two to write the 5-star review, but that'd be very helpful. Important links. There's all kinds of stuff. If you go on, if you haven't been on our investor resources page, I would encourage you to go there. There's a ton of research links already there, but all kinds of other tools and stuff on the site. A lot of local investment resources are on that investor resource page. I'm available for all kinds of different things. Consulting, real flow, trustee services for trust, I'm happy to help with anything I can. Joint venture, if you're interested, if you have a deal, if it's your first deal, or maybe it's a deal that you haven't done, like a subject to deal, be happy to JV with you if there's a real deal there. Go buy a house. That's what you should all be pumped up to go do, right? Go buy a tax deed. Okay, any questions? Nothing? Just wore you out? $5 deal? Come and see Maria. Anybody else need the $5 deal? Go see Maria.
I do have a deal.
Okay, listen.